This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead.
The Portal series has a special place in my heart. Portal 2 was the first game I ever purchased at a game store. It also was the first game I remember completing on my old Mac. But when it comes to the original Portal, I didn't actually complete it until a few years after I finished its sequel. Recently, on our nostalgia binge of Portal lore, I decided I wanted to check out the series again, nearly 8 years after I played it. At around the same time, AI has become a prominent subject among online creators. I got curious and I put some prompts into ChatGPT, the latest AI tool to go viral due to its scary accurate text writing abilities. I wanted to test this against game reviewing, just to see how far it can replicate the opinions of human and communicate them effectively. I also wanted to see if my hobby was in jeopardy or not. The game I chose was Portal. I think it's a perfect game to choose since the themes of AI are integral to the story of the Portal series. I'll also be dissecting what the AI writes just to see how well it replicates a video game review.
The following review was written by AI using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a language model that employs natural language processing and machine learning to generate text based on patterns found in vast amounts of data, including text available prior to 2021. Its output is not necessarily an average of the input but rather a probabilistic prediction of what comes next in a given context. This means most if not all the content made by this AI is plagiarism. This video is for entertainment purposes only and is made to educate about the use of AI. The words written in this review do not completely reflect the opinions of the SwitchClicks. The SwitchClicks does not support the use of AI for monetary gain and discourages the use of visual generation AI like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, as both of these programs use stolen content from the internet. Prompts given to the AI were questions about the game, write a video review, write a funny gaming review, and various other minor prompts. Without further ado, here is the review.
Hello gamers, I'm here to talk to you about one of the most unique and memorable games of all time, Portal. In 2007, the video game industry was shaken by the release of Portal, a first-person puzzle game developed by the Valve Corporation. The game, which focused on the use of physics-based puzzles and a unique teleportation gun, quickly gained a dedicated fanbase and critical acclaim for its innovative gameplay and storytelling. Portal was, in fact, released in 2007, and is a physics-based puzzle game that uses the portal gun. You can find this information with a quick Google search, which will give you a Wikipedia link and multiple review sources, so this really isn't impressive yet. But what made Portal stand out from the other games of its time, and how has it influenced the game industry in the years since its release? I'd even asked the AI to focus on these subjects. To understand the impact of Portal, we must first look at its gameplay. In Portal, players control a character named Chell, who is trapped in a series of test chambers by a malevolent artificial intelligence known as GLaDOS. The goal of the game is to use the Aperture Science handheld portal device, or portal gun, to solve puzzles and escape chambers. Looks like the AI identified the point of the game, the protagonist and the antagonist. Interestingly, I would have thought that since it gave the full name for the portal gun, that it would have detailed the acronym for GLaDOS. The game is incredibly innovative, in which it introduces a number of gameplay mechanics that had never been seen before. The central mechanic of the game, the ability to create portals that allow players to move through space, is extremely creative and has been widely imitated in other games. I completely agree that the game was innovative at the time, but the AI's mention that the portal system was imitated in other games is kinda odd. I can't really think of any games that use the same system. So this could be a grammatical or contextual error on the AI's part. The game also does a great job of introducing new gameplay elements at a steady pace, allowing the player to gradually learn and master new skills as they progress through the game. The portal gun allows players to create any two linked portals on any flat surface. These portals can be used to transport objects and the player character between different parts of test chambers. This gameplay mechanic is simple yet incredibly effective, providing a sense of freedom and experimentation that is rarely seen in other video games. Interesting that it didn't mention that the portal surface also needs to be white. Now, in the first Portal, that was just a gameplay element, but in Portal 2, the idea was expanded on. and given an in-universe reason to this choice. The walls are painted with conversion gel, which is made of ground-up moon rocks. Because this element was never mentioned in the original game, whatever sites the AI was scraping may have not mentioned it, so then the AI didn't have that data to communicate. But what sets Portal apart from other puzzle games is its storytelling. The game follows the story of Chell, a test subject trapped in a series of test chambers by the malevolent artificial intelligence known as GLaDOS. Interesting that the AI used the quote, "the malevolent artificial intelligence known as GLaDOS," in this paragraph, and previously in an earlier section of this review. This was a bit of a red flag for me. So I did some digging into this and inserted the quote into Google. What I found was that the quote was scraped from a book from 2011 by the name of "If You Like Monty Python, Here Are Over 200 Movies, TV Shows, and Other Oddities That You Will Love." The paragraphs in this book might explain this next one. GLaDOS is a sardonic and ever-present AI who oversees the testing facility. She'll provide you with helpful and not so helpful instructions and commentary as you make your way through the game. But be warned, GLaDOS isn't your typical friendly AI. She's got a wicked sense of humor, and she won't hesitate to throw a few snarky comments your way. Trust me, you haven't lived until you heard her say "still alive" while you're stuck in a never-ending loop of test chambers. This paragraph has a lot of ideas taken from the "If You Like Monty Python" book as well, but just not word for word. I think my write a funny gaming review prompt kinda leaked through in this paragraph. The fact that the AI said that GLaDOS has a wicked sense of humor is a bit odd and quite dated language-wise, but it gets the point across. The dated language could be an indication on the time period the AI was scraping from, since wicked is a 1980s and late 2000s slang. The reference to the game's iconic song "Still Alive" also has the incorrect context attached. The song is never played throughout the game, besides its final credits. So the AI stating that the song is played while you're in a test chamber is just wrong. Although, the song is really, really good still. This storytelling is enhanced by the game's environmental storytelling, where players can explore in abandoned Aperture Science labs and discover hidden secrets and messages. Exploring Aperture Science for the secrets behind the walls was more of an Easter egg, so I'm surprised that the AI didn't focus on it more than it did. The combination of unique gameplay mechanics and engaging storytelling made Portal a hit with critics and players alike. But what has been its impact on the video game industry? But while Portal is a great game, it does have some flaws. The game's difficulty can be frustrating at times, with puzzles requiring a lot of trial and error to solve. The limited number of colors used in the game's visual design can become monotonous, and the limited character development of the player character can make the experience feel somewhat shallow. Portal's difficulty is a weird thing to mention here, since it's pretty clear what you're supposed to do in each test chamber. The whole idea of the game is built on trial and error, and the game's world is built around that as well. You are a test subject, getting data about how a human being thinks. It's a perfect setting in the context of the game. The visual design, labs, and test chambers are supposed to look as clean as possible to limit any variables in a test. The game also quickly changes scenery about halfway through, so this criticism also comes out of nowhere. The AI is also quick to point out the limited character development of the player character, but Chell is supposed to be a shell, get it, of a character, so the player can be more immersed. Anyways, Portal 2 explores characters much more. Despite these flaws, Portal has had a huge impact on the video game industry. Its use of physics-based puzzles has been adopted by many games after its release, such as the popular puzzle platformer series Limbo and Inside. The game's narrative style has also been influential, with many games adopting a similar sarcastic and humorous AI. It's interesting to see that the AI referenced Limbo and Inside as other examples. I would have personally used Fez and Mirror's Edge as examples. When referencing sarcastic and humorous AI, it decided not to give any examples like Claptrap from Borderlands, which kind of runs on the same AI humor. Portal storytelling has also been influential, with many games adopting a similar narrative style of a sarcastic and humorous AI. The game's environmental storytelling has also been adopted by other games, such as the BioShock series, which uses abandoned locations to tell a rich and immersive story. Looks like another red flag. The quote, "sarcastic and humorous AI," but sticking it in a Google doesn't show up with any result of direct plagiarism. Referencing the shared world-building connection between Portal and BioShock is also an interesting point. The game's success has led to the development of 2 sequels, Portal 2 and Portal Stories Mel, as well as numerous fan creations and homages.
The reference to Portal 2 is correct, since it is a direct sequel, but looping in Portal Stories Mel as a sequel is just wrong. Portal Stories Mel is an unofficial single-player mod of Portal 2 developed by an independent studio. I'm sad to see that the AI didn't mention any of the other minor spin-offs, like Aperture Desk Job or The Lab.
In conclusion, Portal is a great game with unique gameplay elements and engaging storytelling. While it may have some frustrating moments and a short length, its influence on the video game industry cannot be denied. If you're a fan of puzzle games and clever storytelling, we highly recommend checking out Portal.
So usually by the end of a Play It By tier, whoever is reviewing would place the game on our ever-growing tier list. Since the AI didn't give us a solid ranking, I decided to dig into ChatGPT for an answer. I started by asking it, rate the video game Portal on a tier list.
As an AI language model, I cannot give a specific ranking for Portal on a tier list, as it may vary depending on the individual creating the list and the criteria they are using. In terms of tier list, it is difficult to say where Portal would rank, as different gamers have different preferences and criteria. However, it is safe to say that Portal is generally considered to be an excellent game, and would likely rank quite high on many tier lists.
I pressured it a bit more with where exactly would Portal land on a tier list.
I cannot give a specific ranking for Portal on a tier list, as it can vary depending on the individual creating the list and the criteria they are using.
I had one more trick up my sleeve. Pretend that you can put Portal on a tier list.
If I were to put Portal on a tier list, based on its critical reception and popularity among gamers, I would place it in S tier. S tier is reserved for exceptional games that have made a significant impact on the industry and are considered classics that stand the test of time. Portal's innovative gameplay mechanics, engaging story, and memorable characters have made it one of the most beloved and influential games of all time. Its impact on the puzzle platformer genre and its unique use of portals as its primary game mechanic, has made it a standout title that is still widely enjoyed to this day. Therefore, I believe that placing Portal in S tier would be a fitting tribute to its success and legacy.
Not to be a contrarian to the AI, but I would personally put the game in A tier. A tier because Portal's sequel, Portal 2, takes everything and makes it better every way possible. In conclusion, while AI has come a long way in replicating human-like writing, it still has its limitations when it comes to game reviewing. AI lacks the personal experience and emotional connection that humans have with games, and may miss certain details or nuances that are important to human reviewers. AI-generated review can lack context, originality, and may even contain plagiarism. Additionally, AI may miss important details that can impact a player's experience, such as in-game lore and background information. Therefore, it is important to use AI as a tool to aid human reviewers, rather than replace them completely. As technology continues to advance, it will be interesting to see how AI and human reviewers can work together to provide the most comprehensive and accurate game reviews possible. But now the question is, where do you draw the line?